Welcome back to our channel, dear viewers. In today's story, CEO Tuan returned after many busy days on a business trip in Hanoi and finally reunited with Hana. Their emotional meeting after a long separation seemed to erase all distance between them. Not only did he come back, but CEO Tuan also brought a special gift, a new outfit he carefully chose for Hana as a sincere gesture of care. Deeply moved by his thoughtfulness, Hana expressed her heartfelt gratitude to him. This simple yet warm moment shows the growing bond between them, where emotions are conveyed not only through words but also through small, meaningful actions of care and attention. If you enjoy gentle, emotional, and heartfelt love stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our next videos. Your support is the motivation that helps us continue creating more meaningful and touching stories. Thank you, and see you in the next video. After many long and exhausting days away in Hanoi on an extended business trip, CEO Tuan finally completed all of his urgent work and immediately made the decision to return. Despite the success of his meetings and the pressure of important corporate responsibilities, his mind had never truly been at peace during his time away. One name kept appearing in his thoughts again and again: Hana. She was not just someone he cared about. She had become a quiet but deeply important part of his daily life, someone whose presence he had grown used to more than he initially realized. As his car traveled back toward the familiar roads leading to her home, a mixture of relief and anticipation filled his heart. The city lights of Hanoi slowly faded behind him, replaced by quieter streets, open skies, and the familiar countryside atmosphere that reminded him of her. Every kilometer brought him closer, and with each passing moment, his sense of urgency grew stronger. He wondered how she had been during his absence, whether she had been eating properly, whether she had been feeling lonely, or whether she had been quietly waiting for him just as he had been thinking of her. When his vehicle finally stopped in front of the small house where Hana lived, he paused for a brief moment before stepping out. The air felt still, almost as if time itself had slowed down to match the emotion building inside him. And then he saw her. Hana was standing not far away, slightly thinner than he remembered, her posture gentle yet carrying a hint of quiet fatigue, as if the days without him had not been entirely easy. But despite that, there was still something warm and comforting in the way she stood, something that immediately eased the tension in his chest. Their eyes met, and in that instant, words were unnecessary. It felt as though the distance of days, the weight of work, and the silence between them all dissolved at once. CEO Tuan took a slow breath, as if grounding himself in the reality of finally being back beside her. He walked closer, his steps steady but filled with emotion he did not fully express. For a brief moment, neither of them spoke, as if both were trying to confirm that this reunion was real. The world around them seemed quieter, softer, almost distant. In that silence, there was understanding, an unspoken acknowledgement of care, concern, and the bond that had quietly grown between them. After all the chaos of work, travel, and responsibility, this simple moment of returning and seeing Hana safe was unexpectedly more meaningful than any business achievement he had completed in Hanoi. Without saying much, CEO Tuan reached into the small bag he had brought with him and gently placed a neatly wrapped box into Hana's hands. His expression remained calm on the surface, but there was a quiet softness in his eyes that revealed how carefully he had prepared this moment. He did not want to make it overly formal or dramatic. Instead, he wanted it to feel natural, sincere, and personal. Hana looked at the box with a slight hesitation, as if she was unsure whether she should open it immediately or simply hold on to the warmth of the gesture for a little longer. The atmosphere between them was quiet, but it was not uncomfortable. It was filled with something gentle and unspoken, like a connection that did not need explanation. Eventually, Hana slowly untied the ribbon and opened the box. Inside, she found a beautifully chosen set of new clothes. The fabric looked soft and carefully selected, the colors elegant yet simple, clearly matching her personality rather than being overly extravagant. Every detail suggested thoughtfulness. This was not a random gift, it was something chosen with attention, patience, and understanding. Hana's fingers lightly touched the fabric as if she was trying to confirm that what she was seeing was real. For a brief moment, she could not find the right words to speak. She had not expected something like this, especially after knowing how busy CEO Tuan had been during his time away in Hanoi. Her heart tightened slightly, not in sadness, but in a deep sense of gratitude that slowly filled her chest. The fact that he had taken time out of his demanding schedule to think about her needs made her feel seen in a way she had not experienced for a long time. It was not just about the clothes themselves, it was about the meaning behind them. It was about care, attention, and the quiet message that she mattered to someone who carried so many responsibilities. Hana looked up at him, her eyes shining with emotion. There was a soft redness at the corners of her eyes, but she held back her tears, trying to stay composed. She didn't want to appear overly emotional, yet she could not hide how deeply touched she was. I don't know what to say, she whispered at first, her voice slightly trembling. Then she added more clearly, "Thank you. I really, truly appreciate this." CEO Tuan simply nodded slightly, as if acknowledging her feelings without needing to add anything unnecessary. He did not seek praise or attention for what he had done. For him, the gesture itself was enough. Seeing Hana's genuine reaction was more valuable than any words of acknowledgement. The quiet between them felt warmer now, filled with mutual understanding. Hana carefully held the box closer to her chest, as if afraid the moment might disappear if she let go. In that simple exchange, something deeper than words was quietly strengthened between them: trust, care, and a growing emotional bond that neither of them fully needed to define aloud. Hana slowly tightened her grip on the box, still feeling the warmth of the moment lingering in her heart. She took a small breath, trying to calm the emotions that were building inside her. The sincerity of CEO Tuan's gesture had touched her more deeply than she expected, and for a moment she struggled to find the right way to respond. The quiet atmosphere around them made everything feel even more intimate, as if the world had intentionally slowed down just to give them this space. Finally, Hana gently reached out and held CEO Tuan's hand. Her touch was soft, slightly hesitant at first, but it quickly became steady as she felt reassured by his presence. Her voice came out softly, almost like a whisper carried by gratitude. "Thank you. I am really grateful to you." The words were simple, but they carried a depth of emotion that she could not fully express. It was not only about the gift, nor just about his return after days away, it was about everything he had quietly done for her without expecting anything in return. Her eyes looked down for a moment, as if she was trying to gather herself, before she looked up again with a gentle and sincere expression. CEO Tuan looked at her calmly, his usual composed demeanor softened by a faint, warm smile. He did not interrupt her, nor did he rush to respond. Instead, he allowed the moment to unfold naturally, understanding that sometimes emotions did not need words to be fully expressed. In Hana's eyes, he could see honesty, appreciation, and something deeper that neither of them had openly defined yet. It was a feeling that quietly connected them without needing confirmation. After a brief silence, he lightly squeezed her hand in return, a small but meaningful gesture that conveyed understanding and reassurance. "You don't need to thank me so much," he said gently, his voice calm and steady. His tone carried no distance, only quiet care. "I just wanted you to have something comfortable." That's all. Hana nodded slightly, still holding his hand. Even though the words seemed simple, she knew there was more behind them: thoughtfulness, concern, and a quiet form of affection that he did not openly display but consistently showed through actions. The wind around them moved softly, brushing past the quiet space they shared, making the moment feel even more peaceful. For Hana, it felt like more than just a reunion. It was a reminder that she was not alone, that someone had been thinking about her even from far away. For CEO Tuan, seeing her safe and emotionally moved gave him a sense of calm he had not felt during his busy days in Hanoi. The weight of work, pressure, and responsibility seemed lighter in that moment, replaced by something far more grounding. Neither of them said much after that. Instead, they simply stood there for a moment longer, sharing a quiet understanding that did not need explanation. In that stillness, a small but meaningful connection between them grew stronger, gentle, unspoken, and deeply human.
Hello, xin chào tất cả các khán giả của kênh Hana Daily Vlog. Vậy là câu chuyện của chúng ta đã kết thúc tại đây. Nội dung câu chuyện hôm nay của chúng ta thì đã kể về việc đó chính là CEO Tuấn sau nhiều ngày tháng đi làm ăn xa quê hương thì bây giờ anh đã trở về quê hương, và việc đầu tiên khi trở về đó chính là anh đã đi tìm Hana. Và anh đã tìm được Hana và anh đã tặng cho Hana một bộ quần áo mới. Hana rất là vui mừng và hạnh phúc vì cô vừa được gặp lại CEO Tuấn, lại vừa được CEO Tuấn tặng một bộ quần áo rất là đẹp. Mọi tình tiết hấp dẫn về câu chuyện cũng như cuộc sống xoay quanh Hana sẽ còn được kể ở các video tiếp theo. Các bạn hãy đón xem nha. Cảm ơn các bạn rất nhiều. Bye bye.